Hey everyone, it's Aesah, and welcome to my video on Moses Graves positioning. This is when you're attempting to split the enemy front line, like how Moses parted the Red Sea. So I want to show one clip of this happening. So basically, you line up units on the left here and units on the right, and what will happen is some of his tanks will go over here and get stuck on your tanks. In the meantime, I can kill his weaker units on this side, and then Graves will usually dash forward, and now he's closer to the enemy backline, and you can see that I'm killing his backline, even though his strongest carry is on the same side as his strongest tank. His main tanks are being pulled down here, and my Graves can actually walk straight to his carry, while his two main tanks are still alive. And if we go back once again, his position, these two units started in the middle of the map, but I was able to reach his main carry all the way across without aggroing these units. So just to demonstrate how this works, generally I like to use left side for this. You can use the right side. You'll have to change a little thing. You'll have to change a few things up, but generally I like left side. So your board will usually look something like this. Basically, you'll want your strongest tank on the same side as Graves. Usually that's going to be Jarvan. It's just going to be the best unit. But if you have a 3-star of something like you have a 3-star Ross, you can probably use that instead. But basically, a lot of people will put their strongest tank in the middle hex. So especially if your opponent has a solo frontline. Notice that Leona is closer to Alistar than it is to these units. This is 1, 2, 3, and then one diagonal hex. There's only 1, 2, and 1 hex. So what will, I believe, almost always happen, I think there's always some unpredictable things as far as TFT and positioning goes, just in general, but I've done this a lot, I think maybe 20 out of 20 times. Leona will always walk to the right. So if your opponent has a full front line, let's say they have some vanguards, like Silas, plus maybe Alawi, they're playing maybe some Anima Squad units. Leona will always walk right. Alistar will usually walk over here. These units might walk up. And basically what will happen is you can kill their weakest unit here. So even if this is a 2-star Silas, your Graves should be able to kill it pretty fast. Graves will usually dash around here. And then after this unit dies, if Alawi has also walked over here and they have some backline units, so in this example, even let's say they have their main carry over here, but they have some other backline units like Seraphine, Vayne, Yuumi, perhaps. A lot of times what happens after this unit dies, your Graves is actually closest to Seraphine or Vayne. This is 1, 2 hexes in a straight line. This would be 1, 2.5 hexes. So then Graves will just continue killing these backline units. It's not always going to work. Sometimes, for example, let's say Graves dashes over here and kills Vayne. I guess it's still closer to Yuumi here. There's definitely some situations where this just might not work out depending on how your opponent's positioned, but the point is not for it to work every single time. Even if it only works some of the time, you can win some matchups that you would have lost anyway by killing your opponent's backline before dealing with their main tank. Now, there's a few caveats to this positioning. It can definitely backfire where, let's say, if your opponent has their tank on your side, what can happen is they kill this unit in front of your grave. So what will happen, basically, these units will walk up. This unit in front of your graves will die, and then your graves will be the next targeted, while your tanks will be stuck over here, and they don't have enough damage to kill this. So your tanks will be over here, and they have their position on your side. You can have your graves die really quickly under this position. So being proper side is definitely important. Left side again is a little bit easier, just because if they, especially if they have solo frontline, but just in general, a lot of people put their strongest tank in the center hex, so it always walks right. You can actually do this on the right side, but you'll have to put a unit here. It's not as reliable. Basically, similar thing can happen. So if their board perhaps looks like this, their strongest tank might walk left, but the reason it's less reliable is just if they have a full front line, Silas takes a slot, of course. So it's a little I think it would still work a lot of the times. Again, nothing in TFT is 100% one way or the other. But if you want to do it on the right, you would probably do something like this. You'll want your backline, your strong backline units attacking the same units as Graves. So in this case, let's say we have an itemized Annie and no items on Vex, 1-star. Then we would set up like this. If we have both of these itemized, we might want both on the same side. But having a backline unit that's not very useful back here is pretty good because a lot of times you can actually pull their main tank as these units die all the way down to your corner, which is just away from your Graves. So this could still work like this, where you kill this Alawi, Graves dashes up here and kills their entire backline before aggroing onto Leona. So you could definitely do something like this, but on the left side, it's a little bit more reliable because you can pull them all the way to the side of the map, like this. I guess normally Alistar would walk, but maybe they have a unit in front of here. Either way, it's going to be more reliable on left side, but on right side, you can still do it. Just make sure wherever you're trying to pull their strongest tank, you just have a closer unit. So in this case, Alistar will pull Leona since this is 1.5 hex away, while this is like 2.5 hex away. That's going to wrap it up on this video for the Moses Graves positioning. If you have any comments or questions, let me know in the Discord, and thank you for watching.